Let me ask you something. The last time the market dropped, and I mean really dropped, what did you feel first? Not what did you think, what did you feel? And here's the thing, that feeling has been quietly costing you money for years. I need to tell you about the worst financial decision I've made. Because once you understand what happened to me, you'll never look at a market dip the same way again. Hi, I'm Neil. This is The Long View, where we talk about retirement the way it actually works, not the way the highlight reels make it look. A few years ago, I was in a bad place, not financially, but personally and physically. Work pressure had been stacking up for months. Life stuff just on top of that. The kind of weight that doesn't show up on a normal day. And one morning I opened my brokerage account. Markets were down dramatically. And I felt it, let me tell you. My heart rate, my jaw tightened. This low-grade dread that sat in my chest all day never went away. For at least 48 hours. I sat there and I pressed the sell button. Not because my strategy was wrong, but because I was exhausted. And let me tell you, I was scared. I really could not tell the difference between a financial signal and an emotional one. So here's what I didn't know. The market wasn't the problem. I was already in debt. Not financial debt, emotional debt. Here's how it works. Every time you go through something hard, work stress, financial pressure, uncertainty, and you don't fully process it, those emotions, they don't disappear. They go on credit. You see, your nervous system carries those forward, quietly at first and silently, charging interest. And the longer that debt accumulates, the more sensitive you become. So when the market drops 20%, it doesn't land on a calm nervous system. It lands on one that's already underwater. And a 20% drop starts to feel like a catastrophe. Now, here's the part most financial content completely skips over. And this is why I almost lost everything that morning. You see, there are two parts of your brain fighting for control every time you check your portfolio. The first is called your amygdala. It doesn't care about your 20-year plan. It cares about right now. The second is called your prefrontal cortex, your rational planner, a part that knows this dip is temporary, that your strategy is sound, that you've been here before. In a calm state, they work together. But when emotional debt is running high, when you're already carrying 6 months of unprocessed stress, the amygdala wins every time. And your prefrontal cortex, the part that would tell you to stick to the plan, it goes quiet. You're not making financial decisions anymore. You're having a stress response. And you might sell not because it's smart, because it stops the pain for about 48 hours anyway, in my case. Here's what panic selling actually is. And I really want you to hear this. It's not a financial mistake first. It's an emotional one. It's numbing behavior, kind of like drinking and smoking. It's the investing equivalent of closing your eyes and hoping the problems just disappear. Think about how you feel after a long, stressful day. And instead of dealing with it, you drink or smoke, which numbs the stress and anxiety. Now, you feel better for a minute and worse by morning. Panic selling is the same thing. You stop the immediate pain of watching your portfolio drop, but you lock in the loss, miss the recovery, and add a new layer of debt. Because now regret sits on top of everything else. I've lived this pattern, and I know that willpower was never going to be enough to stop it. So here's what I did instead. What I did is I built a system, not because I'm exceptionally disciplined. In fact, I learned how to be disciplined. And here's the insight that changed everything for me. It makes your decisions in advance when you're calm, clear, and thinking straight. Actually, now my rules are straightforward. I just hold a global diversified ETF. I have predetermined price levels, which I add, not sell. I keep a cash buffer so a market drop never triggers an emergency response. I didn't have to decide anything. The decision was already made. I just followed the system, and here's what that does to your brain over time. Because this is part of what I wasn't expecting. Every time you follow your rules instead of your panic, every single time, you teach your nervous system something critical. You teach it that activation doesn't have to mean emergency. That a drop in the market is information, not a threat. You complete the emotional cycle without a catastrophic exit. And over time, you stop accumulating new emotional debt around your finances. The market becomes something you observe, not something you re-experience over and over again. That shift right there is the difference between an investor who compounds wealth over 20 years and one who keeps starting over. Now, I want to say something directly to anyone watching this who's in their 40s or 50s. If you've made emotional investment decisions, you're not weak. You're not bad at this. You're human with a nervous system that was never designed to watch numbers change on a screen day after day. The people who panic sell aren't stupid. They're unprotected. Don't have something standing between their feelings and their future. And that's all this is. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." He wasn't telling you to suppress what you feel. He was telling you to build something that holds when you can't. That's a system. That's the long view, not just a portfolio strategy, a neurological one. If you want to know where your retirement plan actually stands, hang with me for a few more days until I get it uploaded. I built a free 5-minute retirement checkup that will be live shortly. It tells you exactly which areas you need attention on and what to do about them. And if this one hits a little bit differently, hit subscribe so you'll be notified as soon as it's ready. I'll see you in the next video.